Hello, joyful, joyful Monday. Happy Monday. It is January the 20th. Happy MLK Day. Love, peace, and joy. Yes. Happy Monday. Happy magical Monday out there. A mindful moment for Monday. My partner is going to be joining in a second. Miss Frankie. And let's see, I think there she is. We
We
did.
did. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me okay?
I can hear you perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
We made it and we made it on time. No technical difficulties.
Right?
I love it when a good plan makes it out the chat. Hey.
Right.
Nice
Yes.
to see you, sis.
It's always so good to see you, and I'm so serious. Your smile, I'm telling you, just makes my Monday. Every single Monday, I get to see your
Yeah.
smile, and that's a privilege.
Thank you. Well,
Yes.
I'm blessed to be in the room with the amazing life coach, amazing transformational wellness life coach, Miss Frankie. She is just phenomenal in her own right, like
Oh,
brilliant mind and just a heart of compassion for the people. And yes, every Monday we have been dropping in with you guys to give you guys some tips for your mind, body, and spirit. And then we've been answering questions that have been coming to us, just to help you guys continue to navigate, through the roller coaster of life. You know,
yes.
it's up, it's down, it's all around. And sometimes we have to put our hands up and enjoy the ride.
Right?
So these things
Right.
that we are talking about, are helping
Right.
us, and helping
Absolutely.
others enjoy the ride, aka enjoy the journey of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I just want to give a quick shout out to you, Dr. Jamila Banks, for being a phenomenal human being. Phenomenal. If anyone who's on my page goes and follows Dr. Banks' page, you'll see what I'm talking about. She's doing some great things, not only in the realm of therapy and all of that with families and so on and so forth, but she's doing a lot in the community. As some people know, Dr. Banks is located in California, Southern California to be exact. And I was just looking at her post just recently about giving back to the community, especially during this time, not just during this time, but especially during this time with all the fires and things that are going on there, people losing their livelihood, losing their things, right? So check out Dr. Meng's page, please. Follow her there. See all the good things that she's doing. I just love her to pieces. Never met her in person. That's the funny fact, right?
Yeah,
But
it's on that
spirit
agenda.
Right. I say, but spirits connect. And I know that my discernment is on point. And my discernment tells me and continues to tell me that this is a blessing that I got to partner up with you and to meet you in this life and during this time. So go over to her page as well and follow her and support all the things that she's doing.
Thank
Yes.
you. Well, we are blessed to be a blessing. And
Absolutely.
that's what we are coming together, to give you the benefit of our wisdom, of our tips, of our tools, things that we've been
Yes.
experiencing to help you navigate. So yes,
Yep.
I want you to jump
Okay.
in because last week I started first,
All right.
uh, sliding around. You start us off, kick us off today.
Okay, cool. So I'll go through my two questions and then my two tips, and
Yeah.
then I'll kick it over back over to you. So this is awesome. So today we're talking about self-confidence, and as most of you that have been paying attention to what we are doing here, we both have received questions. We're answering those questions, and then we're also going to provide at least two tips that coincide with the topic of which we're talking about. So again, today is self-confidence. The question, and I'm reading it, so here we go. The first question I have is, what are some common causes of low self confidence? And some of the major, I came up with four. Some of the major ones is a negative past experience. Perhaps you've failed or you've been rejected and you haven't evolved from that. So that actually eats away at your self confidence. Critical self talk. I don't know how many times I'll tell people and share with people what you're saying to yourself. Forget what everybody else is saying to you, right? But what you're saying to yourself is life or death,
Yeah.
literally, right? So, constantly criticizing yourself or focusing on perceived flaws can erode your self esteem. Okay. Number three that I put under this was comparing oneself to another. This is a huge one for me because I know that each of us are uniquely and wonderfully made, right? So while there is Dr. Jamila Banks, there is no other Dr. Jamila Banks. There may be somebody with that name and with that title out there, but this one right here is the only one. There's only one Frankie Kunaho. There's only one, right? So comparing ourselves to anyone else not only erodes our self confidence, but it also defeats the purpose of why we are placed here, why we are put here on earth. We are unique to our individual beings. So, comparing oneself to another is another way of lowering your self confidence.
Okay.
The fourth one, and that's the final one in this one, was the lack of support. Not having a strong support network can contribute to feelings of isolation and self doubt, right? I say this, and I know you can chime in as well, Dr. Banks, is that having people around you that I always say have your answer and not your problem is huge.
Yes.
Having people that are speaking life, people that are constantly building you up. That's not suggesting that, you're not going to have people come in and out that are not going to build you up, but paying attention to who's around you and who you are allowing to be considered your support, your support system. Pay attention to these things because that's feeding into your self-confidence or the lack thereof. So that was my question number one.
I love that. And that was so deep. Yeah. Get around people that are to your
That's
problems,
right.
you know, that can pour into your cup, and the thief of our joy is that comparison.
Hello.
Says don't look left and look right. I mean, it's okay to have a healthy gauge of where you want to go and where you want to be. It's okay to look up to others. It's okay to aspire to. I have
Right.
mentors. I have people that are doing better than me, that are making more than me, and that are in different spaces and places. And I'm not looking at them comparing and contrasting, their mind, their life, their bank account, what they're going on, compared to my
Right.
life. I'm looking at them and I'm looking at, okay, what are some techniques? What are some tools? How can I make myself better? Because I'm already me, but
Right.
this is where I want to go as well. And so they may have a blueprint to help me get there easier. They may have some things that I can put my stamp on that I can adjust
Right.
to. So it's not the comparison and the contrasting where it's knocking my self confidence down, where it's making me feel beneath them or low. It's a type of uplifting that, hey, if you can do it, I can do it
Right.
too. Carved your path and I can walk my lane. So it becomes that type of I'm looking at you saying that, dang, like I got this, you got this, we
Right.
got this.
Right.
Instead of, oh, and she must have just had some luck, or or she just must have had this, all those
Right.
things that we may get into our minds,
Right.
and comparing.
Right. No, thank you for adding that because one of the things I tell people on a regular basis is when you go into the grocery store to buy bread, let's just suggest that, how many brands of bread do you see in that bread aisle, right? They're not competing with one another. They're standing in their own lane.
Right.
So, you may have a preference for one over the other, so on and so forth. But I thank you for adding the fact that yeah, you can aspire and you can appreciate and value other people's progress and so on and so forth. But once you start that comparison, you're absolutely right. It is detrimental. It just truly is detrimental. Just keep in mind that you are uniquely and wonderfully made just the way that you are. We can do the same thing in the same space and still thrive.
Yeah.
right? So thank you.
Yep. Just
Yes.
add your unique
Oh,
stamp on it because everybody
hello.
has a unique quality, their unique characteristic, their
Right,
unique voice to something. And so you can do the same thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
right.
The wheel is already made. Rock road is that, but you put a stamp on that wheel.
Hello.
Put a bow on that
Hello.
wheel. You dress it up and you make yours red while her wheel
Yes.
is black. Whatever the case may be,
Right.
but make it your
Get your
own
vote.
because you have your own to bring to that table.
100. All right. My second question was, how can self-confidence be improved? I came up with three tips, or not tips, but three answers to this particular question. Setting and achieving small goals, right? I think that some of us sometimes will sit back and it's like, okay, you know what? My self confidence is in the toilet or is down the drain. I don't know how to go about setting goals, and so we will set big goals. We'll set these astronomical goals. There's nothing wrong with that. However, we should learn how to set the small ones and chip away at that, because if you set the large ones before you're even ready to jump out there, that's only going to impede upon your self confidence even more, right? So, setting and achieving small goals will aid in your success and builds your self confidence. Positive affirmation is my number two on here for my answer. Um, just like I said earlier, that negative talk, replace it with positive affirmation. Every single day, replace it with positive affirmation. The minute that you start comparing yourself, and like you said, Dr. Banks, oh, look at her. She thinks she's all that and she's doing this. Or stop it. Stop it right there. Right there, and say, you know what? She's fabulous. I love her style. I love what she's doing. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to project that out into the world, because I think being authentic, right, to yourself is number one. But positive affirmation is like, yeah, Dr. Banks got it going on, but so does Frankie,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm right, right? So it's not taking anything from Dr. Banks or anyone else. It's actually adding to me. It's also glorifying and raising up other people. I actually watch a couple of other people on online here that I just simply love. I'm not going to drop names at this point, but at no time will I ever say, "Oh, I want to be just like that. I want to be her. I want to be." No, I don't. No, I don't. I want to be me, and I want to be the best version of me. So the only way for me to be the best version of me is to speak to myself in a positive light on a regular basis. I may see her doing something great. That's great. I'm about to do something great. That's all I keep saying, right? So positive affirmation.
Yeah. I love that.
The last one, third, is seeking support. This goes back into the lack of support. Seeking support means getting around those people. I agree that Dr. Banks and our paths crossed because it was a divine situation taking place, right? I believe these things because that's my spiritual base. Allowing people around your space, just keep in mind, everyone should not be invited. That's 100% true. Everyone should not be invited, but
That table.
okay, right. Serious, right? You should seek support, but pay attention to where you're getting that support, where you're getting that feedback, or what kind of feedback you're getting. Seek out people who, once again, have your answer and not your problem.
Yeah.
So, those are my two questions. I hope I answered them for everyone, and I can go on to my tips unless you want to add on to that.
I mean, I just agree. Like, oftentimes, I have apple in the pie, apple in the sky pie goes.
Right?
I put stars and land on the moon and all these things. So I have all those goals that are a lifetime, but then I also have like 10 years and 5 year and 3 year and 1 year, micro down all the way
Hmm.
into 30 days because, we live in
Right,
today. But, we also plan for tomorrow, but you can't, you have to take that big old elephant and take it down in bite-sized
right,
pieces. You don't just go in there and eat it all.
right,
You don't get it all done because guess what? Then you're going to have something else to do.
right.
People are racing towards the finish line, but do you know that the finish line is actually transitioning? So what are we racing to? We all isn't the joy in the journey?
Right,
So if
right,
you are trying to get somewhere, and you It's a good idea to have big goals, but like you said, you want to break them down into smaller chunks, micromanage them, because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. And if you are setting goals where you don't have the capacity to actually reach them, if you are trying to do things and it's not the right season, sometimes it's not the right season to launch things or to do certain things,
Right.
and you put these things in place, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment, which
Mhm.
is going to on your self confidence. So
Right.
keep in mind, like it's always levels to things. It's always steps to
Right.
things. And so it's becoming overwhelming and you're lacking your confidence and you're feeling, beat down. That big old goal, break it down into smaller pieces, break it down into smaller chunks. And that might help you be able to confidently knock this piece out, knock that piece out. Then by the time you look up, you didn't knock out the whole project and got it done, but you micromanaged it and you broke it down and that helped your confidence level.
Perfect. Perfectly said. Absolutely. So, yeah, I can go on to my tips then. All right. How about that? So, my first tip is to celebrate small wins, which you basically just broke down in a nutshell. Not all wins are going to be these grandiose, super huge, look at everybody applaud wins, right? Celebrate those small victories, set those small goals. Therefore, you're having those small victories throughout your process. Something you said, um, and I'm going to have to paraphrase it, but something you just said hit home about it may not be the season, right? You may be putting in all this work and it may not be the season. Recognize that, right? Recognize that, hey, you know what? Not now. What's that whole saying? Delayed does not mean denied. Just because it's delayed does not mean that it's going to be denied. It may not happen this month. It may not happen this year, but set those small goals. Accept those small wins because those small wins add up,
Yep.
right? So that's my first tip. Celebrate small wins.
Yep. And somebody just confirmed you because they said delayed, not denied.
Yes,
Before you,
I just see that.
before you
Yes.
said that, she said, so look, y'all
Awesome.
confirmed each other.
Hello. Yes, I'm with you on that. I'm serious because how many things have we put out there and it's like, okay, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting.
Hmm.
Delayed does not mean denied. Maybe this is not the season. Maybe it's not supposed to look like what you think it's supposed to look like. You just keep putting in the work. You keep celebrating those small wins. The second one is practice self compassion, which ties all into everything, right? Just because we don't see it happening, just because so and so said we're going to fail, just because another person online is doing something similar to you, blah, 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 right? None of that means anything. None of that means anything. If you are not expressing self compassion towards yourself, right? Every single day, the minute you wake up, you're treating yourself with kindness. You're treating yourself with love. You're treating yourself with respect. You're treating yourself that you are wonderfully made. If you're not doing that, I'm going to implore you to actually start doing that. Practicing self compassion every single day, multiple times throughout the day, is paramount, I think, to not only building your self confidence, but keeping you on track with your purpose, what the purpose is that He downloaded, and He being God, what He downloaded into each and every one of us, there's a purpose. But if we don't stay on track, if we don't self compassion with, our daily activities and so on and so forth, we're missing the point, right? So practice self compassion. That's my second
Yeah.
tip.
Yes, I love that. We all need grace, and grace is sufficient for us, and grace is self compassion. What happens when you fall down? What happens when you don't hit the mark? What happens when you mess up? What happens when you stumble? Grace and compassion for yourself actually opens up the doorway for grace and compassion towards others. So if you can give that to yourself, then that can go outwards, and then we can all be uplifting and encouraging each other along the journey because the journey is the point, not the destination. And we all want to make it there, but
Right.
it's a journey along the way again.
Right. And I just saw someone else, I think it's the same individual, they wrote alignment. That is so true. It just is. So those are my two questions and my two tips for today.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay. Moving right along. Next time we might double dutch. You do one question, I do one question. So because now I just want to listen to you some more. So I'm just
but
going to be talking at the end the whole
but no,
time.
I need
But okay.
to hear from you. So go.
All right. So my question one is, and I'm reading two, how can past trauma affect self-confidence? Because again, we're talking about self-confidence. And let me tell you, even though it's self, it's in the root of the word self-confidence, it stems from self. When you have been through traumatic experiences, it affects self. It affects how you think about yourself. It affects how you feel about yourself. It affects how you navigate in the world. So, past trauma can significantly impact self confidence in various ways. Traumatic experiences can have you feeling unworthy or incapable or like you're just not valuable. Fear of failure. A lot of people have the fear of failure because trauma can create a fear of trying new things or taking risks, leading to like you avoiding even doing stuff. Procrastination is avoidance sometimes. Avoidance and procrastination is that fear of failure or even twisted fear of success.
Mm,
Trauma can have you fear of success because you've been told you ain't ish or you're nothing and you'll never be nothing. And you've heard that or you've seen that, and that can stop you from trying to even succeed, which affects your self confidence. Trauma can help add to trust issues, you know, and losing trust in oneself or losing trust in others, and can make it difficult to build bonds, to build lasting relationships and lasting friendships. So then that affects your self confidence because you're like, dang, can I even keep a friend? Am I a friend? Am I a good person? And, you know, so um, trauma can have you internalizing blame. Victims of trauma often blame themselves, which undermine their self worth.
mm,
Man, maybe if I didn't wear that, I wouldn't have got attacked. Maybe if I didn't say that, they wouldn't have been looking at me. And so, self confidence and trauma can go hand in hand. So, if you recognize that, you know, it's important to call that out, to face that, you know, and then to do the opposite. So whatever that trauma has been having you avoid or procrastinate on,
mm,
face that fear and do the opposite. So if you're having that fear of trying something new and taking that risk because you did it before and something happened along that where you were beat down and it was a traumatic experience, I'm gonna call you to take that risk anyway, because that is the only way to move forward within that. And that wasn't even my tip.
right.
So that was question one. Okay.
That was awesome though.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, seriously, because I think that we think trauma, I mean, and I'm not belittling trauma, but we think that trauma is something that is catastrophic. It can be as small as something you said. You've been told that you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, you're not that. And that could have happened, when you were coming up. So as you're growing up, you're still thinking what grandma told me or what mom told me or what auntie told me or whatever, whoever told me, that's still replaying in your brain,
Right.
right? So that's trauma. And I think again, what you just said is 100% perfect.
Yeah.
It just is.
So, just like
Yeah.
for example, I went through a lot of domestic violence. It was a lot of violence in my home growing up. It was a lot of things that people didn't know. But when I went to school, I had the mouth and I had the attitude. So although I was highly gifted,
Mhm.
teachers like, you know, she not gonna be nothing.
Mm.
She hell, she gonna have like four baby daddies. She gonna be out in them
Yeah.
streets. Like, it was a lot of things that people put upon me because they
Right.
didn't know my. But I
Right.
what they said. And I heard, you know, oh, you ain't gonna make it. Oh, you're not gonna go. But you know what I did? I did the opposite. They told me I was
Hello.
gonna be what I was gonna be.
Hello.
And I heard I was not gonna go to USC. And so guess what? I did it
Hello.
anyway. Could have been where I let those words stop me in my track, where I didn't even apply, where I didn't even, you know, try to function. But like you said, you have to get around those uplifting people that are solutions to your problem, that have the answers to your issues. And so my mom was that driving force in my life that it didn't matter what anybody told me. She the one knew that was going on in the house. So
Right.
still instilled in me that it didn't matter that what it looked like, you could still go do this and you could still accomplish this. So that self-confidence, you know, has to be mitigated. But if you don't even know that you had traumatic experiences to even identify them and how they correlate to your self-esteem and self-confidence, it's hard to navigate through that.
Right.
So I
Right.
understood that my worthiness and value, sometimes I saw myself, was attributed to what people told me.
Hmm.
So worked on that by being the opposite and then just cultivating myself. So,
Right.
question
Love it.
one. Yes. Question two. Why is self confidence important for personal growth? Many reasons, but self confidence plays a vital role in personal growth for just multiple reasons. So, one, it encourages risk taking. Like we said, confidence empowers you to step out of your comfort zone, to step outside of your box, to pursue opportunities that are beyond you. There are several opportunities that are scary and that I pursue anyway, that are beyond me, that I don't even know how I'm going to pay for. I don't even know how I'm going to get there. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. I didn't even know where I was going. And opportunity and risk sometimes because that helps my self-confidence by pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Improves resilience. It allows people to bounce back from failures and setbacks with determination. There's been several times in my life that like I failed. I didn't reach my mark, but because I had self-confidence, I was resilient and my bounce back game is strong.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many times I stumble and fall, I will get back in it and I will try again until I pull it off.
Okay.
So that helps increase my self confidence. It builds better relationships. Confidence allows individuals to communicate their needs, to set boundaries effectively. If you don't know what you really want, if you don't know what you really need, and you're just accepting love any type of ways,
Mm.
be bitter and you're gonna be upset and you're gonna be resentful and you're gonna be looking at that other person not loving you right, but you don't even know how to love you right because you don't even know what you need and you haven't communicated effectively to even let the other person know how to love you.
Right.
You don't even know what your own boundaries are, so then they get you like what's going on and you mad and upset, but you haven't even communicated that boundary.
Right.
So self-confidence allows you to create boundaries, allows you to
Oh,
create effective communication skills. It allows you to believe in yourself and foster that sense of purpose so you can achieve your goals no matter what they look like.
all
So,
right.
answer to that question, and then my tips are to building self confidence. One, develop a growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn rather than stress over or think of as threats. So,
Mm.
this challenge is not a threat. This challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. A growth mindset helps you view mistakes as part of the journey to improvement rather than making, you feel down. It gives you more confidence in your ability to adapt and succeed. So, instead of saying, man, like I got a bad grade on the test and that this means that I'm stupid, or like I didn't know what I was doing. You know what, maybe I didn't study enough. Maybe I need to work on my study skills. Maybe I procrastinated too much in writing this paper. Maybe the next time I need to give myself more time than waiting to the last moment. So this challenge of me getting this bad grade on this test or this paper, I can look at it as a failure and I can beat myself up,
Right.
or I can look at it as a challenge to grow up.
Right.
Step more. Don't procrastinate. Use more time. Work with a partner. Ask the professor for help. So
Right.
instead of using it to berate myself, you use it to uplift yourself.
Right.
Um, Second tip is create a self confidence journal.
Ooh,
Got journals for everything. A
right.
journal for this, for that. So
Right.
a self-confidence journal. Track your daily accomplishments and your wins, like Miss Frankie was saying. Track positive affirmations, moments of gratitude. Reflect on your entries when you feel some type of way. This helps you see your progress. This helps you see your growth. This helps you build a stronger belief in yourself. So oftentimes, I have different journals for different things, but I have a gratitude journal. And in the morning, I look at yesterday. This morning, it's in my story. If you go look at my story. I practice what I there is my gratitude journal in there. And there are things that I'm tracking. I'm grateful yesterday that my family got to spend time together. I'm grateful that my son got to turn 10 and have a great birthday party. I'm grateful that we got back and forth to LA. That was a win. We had an accident in December. That was just last month. So I'm tracking things that little and small. People, oh, you're grateful that you got from LA to him. Heck yeah, I'm
Yeah.
grateful. Because
Come
a
on.
couple of weeks ago, my car is still in the shop, getting worked on. My back still hurt right now. So I'm grateful to
That's
get
right.
here to
Yeah.
there. So those are my tools to help build self confidence. Yes, it starts with self. but also get around others that make you feel good about yourself. Because if you are working on it for self, it is a journey. And if you are around groups of people that are putting you down or that are negative, or that are always the problem
Yep.
to the solution that you're trying to be, it is not going to help you foster that self-confidence that you're looking for.
Right.
So you might, if you have nobody in your home, if you have nobody at your class, if you have nobody at work, if everybody around you just in a bitter bag and they bitter ain't bad, go on YouTube. Follow our pages. Get you a virtual mentor. Although I have mentors in person, I have mentors that are virtual, but I have mentors that don't even know me. Like, Abraham Hicks is my mentor. Joe Osteen, you my mentor, you my bud, but
Right.
you don't know me in person.
Right.
But when I turn you on in the morning, you pour into me.
Yes.
When I listen to you, you uplift me. You boost up my confidence. You look into my story. I've captured a post from, Joyce Myers. When I read that, it makes me feel like I can do it. It makes me feel that I can get out there.
Yes.
So if you're telling me you have nobody in your life that can help you in this self-confidence journey, because it is self,
Right.
but if you have nobody outside of yourself, I'm going to encourage you to cultivate an environment of what you read, of
Right.
what you see, and what you listen to outside of those other people.
Right.
So that can help you in your self-confidence journey with these tips and tools that we gave you today.
Right. Drop the mic. I think we're
Hey.
done. I think we're done because it's 100. Everything that you said, I'm sitting up here like, yup,
Yay.
yup, yup.
But wait a minute now. Also, because if you want to hear more from Miss Frankie and Miss Jamila, Dr. Banks on Saturday, we are doing part 2, whipping it. We're gonna be whipping it good. Women healing and purpose, and we are the mothers of the earth. And when we heal, it allows our men, our community, our brothers,
Yes.
our uncles, the people that we work with, to get flow from that healing, and we take it back. So tickets are on sale. It's less than $20. Go get the ticket. You can look on Miss Frankie's page. You can
That's
look
right.
on my page. Buy a ticket for someone else. This Saturday between 2 and 5, we will be on Zoom and we will be pouring into you. We are talking recovery. We are talking resilience. We are talking healing. And not just talking, you are going to walk away with a toolkit. You are going to walk away with an ebook for empowerment that gives you hands-on action tips that you can put into
Love
place.
it.
You're going to walk away with a digital download of a gratitude journal where you can start tracking your daily wins, where you can start tracking your affirmations and your progress and things like that. You're going to walk away tapping into us and tapping into some other women that are encouraging through their tests, turn testimony, their their turn message. And they're going to be giving you so much that is going to add to your self-confidence journey. So if
Yes.
you want to hear more from Miss Frankie, if you want to hear more from me,
Yes.
if you want to know more about her, check out her link in her bio.
Yes.
Go to her page, follow her now. She is one of my dynamic speakers, one of our dynamic panelists, and you're going to get to hear so much more
Yeah.
from her. So I'm just saying, go buy a ticket for Miss Frankie, okay?
Okay.
You are busy on
Okay.
Saturday from 2 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. Go buy a ticket for a friend, for your cousin, for
Right.
your auntie, for your grandma, for your great grandma.
Yes.
Somebody needs to be in the room
Oh,
so they
that's
can
right.
pour back to
That's
you
right.
so they can continue to do what you
That's
do.
right. 100,
Yes.
100, 100. Again, the information is on my page as well as on Dr. Banks. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, of course, Dr. Banks, and all the others. But ladies out there, I'm really looking forward to seeing you invest in yourself. Self-care. Take
Yes.
care of you because you're the priority. So, yay. All
Yes,
right.
we did it.
We're done. We're good. Yes.
Woohoo.
Well, I'm also looking forward, just really quick. Our next Monday is going to be about marriage.
Okay.
I think that's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So, nonetheless, I will see you, my
All right.
love, and I'll see everybody else again soon. How about that?
Yes. See you guys later. Have an awesome rest of your Monday and a great week on purpose.
Yes.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.